Alright, finally not an ice map. Okay, that makes me happy.
Some weakish carbon up there, but very workable. Stronger
Ooh,
carbon down south.
yep, there's
More
north,
strong
south, we
carbon
got
southwest east.
there's at least 3 spots. Ooh, makes that a third up there, up in the north, and to the right of it as well. So
Probably see a lot of
pretty
scavengers,
much
but
all the players could go work with
A
Scavenger if they
scavenger
wanted to.
HQ has been founded.
Okay,
okay.
taking
A scavenger HQ has been founded.
the necessary carbon.
This one will struggle a bit with water, but still a nice-ish spot. Water's not that far away, I guess.
Definitely.
A robotics HQ
But
has
this
been
time there
founded.
actually are nukes, so this time it can actually be doing something
A
damaging.
robotics
I'm
HQ has been
definitely concerned
upgraded.
about Death Throwers found. He's gonna have trouble with iron and steel. Bees... I mean, Bees has good access to iron, but it's pretty awkwardly placed. It's smashed up against this cliff. Like, founding a little more to the west would have allowed for better adjacency.
Death should have actually picked 2 lows instead of that one high up in the corner.
Hmm. And this carbon claim also feels like a bit of a mistake, maybe. I mean, carbon is high at the moment, but there are 2 scavengers, so that should crash quickly. On the other hand, chems and electronics are starting double price, so maybe having access to that carbon-based production quickly will be okay. We'll see. He's doing the same thing he did last time with only producing the 2 iron per second and having 3 steel mills. That might not work at all for him this time, since Death Thrower doesn't have any surplus iron, unlike Elman last time. Although he can just transition the steel mill into more iron. It's just a little bit awkward. Because the steel's already losing money. Let's see. Did I lose Fox? No.
A scavenger HQ has been upgraded.
Okay, now I've lost Fox. Well, anyway, in the meantime, we see bees moving into electronics slightly. Don't know why there's only 1 tile of electronics, but more should be coming down eventually. That's what we were talking about before with that carbon claim. Death Thrower. Death Thrower, I guess, got... Well, no. Terror Incognita found it first, looking to use this water. Death Thrower found it right here, trying to contest it. He lost out on that. And Terra Incognita making good use of the early high chem price. Aragra's also trying to do that. All in all, that means that this price is crashing out pretty quickly. And no one is in reactors yet, so that's likely to be a thing soon. He's moving into these 2 turbines instead of doing anything more with electronics. It makes some sense to move into power like this. Power is rising pretty high and, well, you don't want to miss out on that power spike. But at the same time, it's just, you can't have the single tile. It's already losing money. And we talked about how electronics were going to be strong, but not if you have the single tile. Get some adjacency there and you have good stuff going. The other reason why this carbon claim might have been a bit of a mistake, there's dry ice right here. You could have that carbon production just right next to your base instead, have a bit of oxygen coming in as well. Because you don't necessarily need that 2 carbon a second, and you certainly don't need it early on. But I guess it also did help fuel the construction of these turbines, so maybe it works out.
Okay, there we go. Wow.
Welcome back.
That was actually quite interesting. I got disconnected from Discord, and then it wouldn't want to start up when I restarted it.
I actually did not see your message in game chat, but
It's fine, it's fine. It was just
Screw with
me
us,
saying that
and we'll screw with
it
you.
wasn't working, but
Hmm.
honestly, I have no idea what happened.
So Death Thrower and Terra Incognita in a really awkward position. They're fighting over water. Death Thrower put a lot of claims into blocking Terra Incognita off.
Definitely. Bit of waste of those two, but
I
it makes
mean,
sense.
they'll
He
be
wants to
connected up
monopolize
eventually,
water.
so
Yeah, I mean, he wants to monopolize it.
Terra Incognita is going for Superconductor. In the moment that makes sense with power high and rising, they'll make good use of these panels, but I maybe would have liked to see a rush into slant drilling. I guess with no other people in a patent lab, there isn't a real need to rush it, but long term, the
Yeah.
slant drilling to actually get water.
Scavenger HQ has
He
been
needs
upgraded.
that slant drill if he wants to definitely move anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If not, he's gonna slowly die to life support.
Right.
Unless he gets the water that's up above on the top, that's left over. Meanwhile, Death is cashing in the food and fuel at this moment.
An expansive HQ
Yeah,
has
he's
been upgraded.
doing pretty well for himself. He
He's even out of debt.
does have
Running around for
power
life.
established. Not a whole lot of power, it's not even covering his costs. So he might struggle a bit with debt long term since he's not going to be paying any off, but for now he's stable. I'm a bit concerned about bees shipping water from this far away. Bees made an early play into power.
And he's gonna
And-
lose that water.
Yeah, that water's really just holding him back. What is it? $75 a second in power shipping?
Yep, that is very costly. Into what he's gonna be making, actually. Well, actually.
Just one good thing we can say is that these turbines can transition nicely into dry ice later.
Congratulations.
Although, again, that all brings into question this carbon quarry claim early on still. But okay, Death Thrower connected up his reactors now with a patent lab.
Yeah, here he has that done for a while.
Oh,
He
okay.
built a patent lab, but he removed it earlier. I don't know what that issue about.
A robotics
This
HQ
Terra
has been
Incognita.
We're
upgraded.
gonna go into more steel.
The
Interesting that Terra Incognita has not even queued up a patent yet,
A Scavenger HQ has been upgraded.
and that's slant drilling.
Nope,
Error.
is going for the slant drilling, making sure no one else is gonna get into the water. And if he's right, he can use the nukes perfectly and make everyone die to life support. Well, except for this robot over here.
Aragraz sitting on 4 claims right now. Doesn't seem like he knows what he wants to do. Bees took the water that he was likely eyeing. Oh, now nukes are flying.
He uses nuked on his water instead.
That is a nice nuke. It's gonna give Terra Incognita loads of problems long term.
Definitely. Water is going to definitely spike here rapidly as soon as they even choose to go to life support. Alright, so Bees' food is frozen.
A Scavenger HQ has been upgraded.
So there are actually players vulnerable to a majority buyout by Death Thrower. Wonder if we're gonna see some aggression. Bees can
Definitely.
defend himself, so that wouldn't work out, but it
Black market.
might have been interesting to see that reaction forced.
I mean, it would have been nice if he would have got it after Bees, because he's not, committed to the life support.
Hmm.
he doesn't need the life support. He can just cash into the life support, and that's
Right.
probably a great thing that you can probably buy him out. But either way, he can defend himself.
Terra Incognita going for thinking machines instead of slant drilling. I mean, slant drilling is less important now since that was nuked. And I guess especially since, well, no, he still has 4 claims left. He can pretty easily take these 2 tiles next to his base.
Slant drilling is actually still available.
Yeah, it seems very important. And with such a large number of those available, if you take those 2 claims, you're pretty much guaranteed to have 3 lows for the rest of the
A
game.
bit sad that Def did not choose to continue researching the slant drilling.
HQ has been upgraded.
Urban scrubbing auction for 20k. Eh. Bees with this $216 pleasure dome, doing nice things. Terra Incognita is the one going for virtual reality. Has a claim down for a pleasure dome, building it now.
The engineers have advanced on
Which is
production.
Yep, power is stretched, so that's good. The water is finally spiking up even further.
The black market
Yeah,
is on
with
fire.
power crashed out like this, it would be nice to see bees do something about this triangle of wind. I mean, even if you're
Definitely.
concerned long term about keeping power under in check, you can just, move out the weaker wind turbine, and it'll still get the power adjacent. Well, no, it won't, because solar condensers don't consume power. Never mind.
At this point, Terra wants to get out of these solar panels and go into something else.
Yeah. Although I also understand why those wouldn't be moved. They would be very expensive to move into, and you never want to be caught in a situation where you can't easily move into power. Which is why nanotech might be nice. But there's a lot of things that would be nice patent-wise, so...
Our methods continue to improve.
So far, Bees is still in the lead somewhat.
The black market
Though
is
no
on
one really has good game-ending tools in place. Terra Incognita has a bunch of good patents that could be good ways to help end the game, but they're not really getting used as much as they need.
Interesting. A lot more electronics going around here now.
The local union rep is available.
Yeah, that
for the high
feels like a bit of an overreaction somehow. Electronics were good early, but now everyone's in them. Bees is getting into a second set of them, and I'm not sure any of that makes sense. I guess with water so high...
Def is really smart enough. We should really nuke the rest of the water out of this map.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Though you definitely need to be careful about that. Make sure you're not leaving any one of your opponents with a large amount. Because in some sense, if you keep nuking water, Death Thrower might just be getting a large advantage off it just because he has so much water that you can't realistically nuke all of it.
Pretty much. Oh, and Terra is actually going with those other 2 pieces of water.
Yeah, that's reasonable. It's not as nice as the slant drilling next to his base would have been, but it's quicker.
The black market is online.
He's starting to attack Death Thrower. I'm not sure I like that move.
Definitely not a good choice. Should be investing more into himself
Right.
a little bit.
He needs
And his own stock at least.
he needs some sort of long-term income, and there's just not much. The single farm next to his dry ice condensers is weird. I'm not sure if he thinks these are water condensers or if this is just there's no dry ice there, so he needed to do something.
Optimization
Man.
routine successful.
It's so weird seeing electronics this low and being like the only resource that low.
iron shortage. We dry out iron.
B's now going after Aragres, who's very cheap. Everyone's in deep amounts of debt, which is something you predicted earlier with the water issues.
Exactly. That's why I said like Def should have gone more after these. Would have been a great subsidiary, then knock off the other two straight off the bat with no problem.
Yeah, I'm not sure he could have, well, probably couldn't have actually finished the buy, but they needed to do something to slow B's down a bit more. Death Thrower does have this off-world up though, and most of his stock, so maybe he can make a push back into things.
Well, you better hope that he's not going to purchase Alvarez before that.
It is a colony off-world too. Launching, okay, now he's launching the right thing. Man, $370 electronics launches being the strongest launch. That is uncommon.
That actually is very rare. Well, it is what it is. And it seems Terra is actually building two straight off the bat now, both opposite from each other. You can use that thinking machines to his advantage.
Yep. I mean, anytime you see a player moving into two off-worlds at once, you do have to question it a bit, since that means that they could have moved into one off-world much sooner. But
definitely. It's all about time in this game, and really time isn't a thing, so that's when we should actually have to speed things up and not do it whenever we feel like it, do it when it's necessary.
Another thing we're not seeing out of any of these players, optimization centers.
There's only one, and that's from OGs.
I guess Death Thrower has.
And Death.
But yeah, I mean, I think they could have predicted Life, Sport, and Water going this crazy, so that would have been something to really try to anticipate. Well, B's doing good work with all this dry ice, lots of oxygen money.
Definitely. Too bad it's night right now, it's not on.
We can't have liquid batteries on Mars.
I find that so far a very powerful tool in the series of DLC that's coming up. Considering that it's like dry ice along with water, good question.
Yeah, ice has definitely played a major role in most of the games we've casted.
Our methods continue to improve.
Definitely. Now with dry ice, it seems to be finally a more different reaction out of these players.
I am a bit concerned about what Bees is doing. He seems to be focused on buying out Aragres when Death Thrower owns half his stock.
And he's only 96 away from buying them out. Wait, no. To buy out Aragres, actually.
Yeah, he's a long, long way off from buying Death Thrower, and he's actually selling out of Death Thrower.
Oh.
Yeah, this is leaving a pretty...
Very, very bad choice.
It's too bad off-world prices aren't stronger, because otherwise I think Terra Incognita could have a really strong path back in. Because this fight's going to take a while, and if he could just hoard up a lot of money, he could maybe get in on a Death Thrower, but it's just not happening. Also, good to see him get rid of his glass, which was burning money, thanks to the high oxygen price. Reactors will do nicely. Death Thrower getting pretty close to the buy on Bees.
He is only 86% away. Oh wait, that's from Terra though.
I mean, I talked right when he founded about how worried about I was about his lack of access to iron, but he really made this large patch of low water work.
Yep, he managed to actually monopolize.
Right, very aggressive claiming those tiles,
And
and
being very aggressive and risky move to actually do that.
we still have
Definitely like that.
two players in 250k debt. But it's not going to stop Death Thrower from taking this.
Yep, he has. Oh, Death Row actually still has money.
No, actually, that 100% I was confused by. That's just to shift by terror. Which actually might be a good idea.
Select to all of them. Like, you shift click on a player and it should say the percentage to buy them.
Hey. Definitely buying bees is the safer move right now, but in a lot of ways I would want to just shift by terror incognita. It'd be a big stock price boost. It prevents bees from picking up the buy.
And he does have 2 off-worlds.
Right. And with all this power coming online, if you knock out all his debt, then that's a lot of instant money. If you knock out all his debt by buying him, that is.
Pretty much. It seems that he's he's trying to get nuked. I'm deaf. Not working entirely too much.
How is...
So he's only about 50k from the buyout. Oh, never mind. He's only about...
Yep, there he
There we
goes.
go.
So that explains why power spiked quite so much. Bees really committed heavily into taking more water there. And that shipping cost really just went insane.
That's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that was pretty unnecessary.
Yeah, 1.4 out of that high one. 0.7. Another 0.7. About like 3 per second on power would be consumed.
Power would still be insane if it wasn't for Terra Incognita going to so many solar panels with superconductor. One set of panels would have been fine. The second was pretty gratuitous. But in any case, Death Thrower will take this one. He could sell out of stock to finish it faster, but there's no real need to. Terra Incognita managed to pay off all that debt. Not gonna make a ton of difference.
What Terra should have done is actually... No, not Terra. Bees, there we go. What Bees should have done is actually gone for teleportation or the water engine.
Maybe, yeah.
Would have helped with that power issue and definitely would have made him more into life support.
Right.
Our methods continue to improve. It is affirmative. What a fortune awaits.
I forgot cook the books were on the market. No wonder his debt is still at sea.
Yeah, 30k cook the books. There's been a lot of buying there. 3 by Death Thrower, 2 by Terror, 2 by
one up to
Argos.
50k without anyone purchasing books.
Terra Incognita did make a good move earlier, mutinying this colony off-world instead of taking his own off-world back. Little thing.
Definitely. Well, he has 66k in the buyout. Could just sell the rest of the stock finally and finish the game off.
Off-world shipment launch affirmative. What a payout.
Come on, Death Thrower.
Come on. Are you gonna know?
Almost there. There we go.
There you go.
It's well fought. Bees had a nice lead for a while, but Death Throw turned it around.
Definitely. And the fact that Bees was not investing into Death and Alvarez was probably a major setback.
Right. He made the mistake of going after Aragres instead of someone who was more of a threat.
Yeah.
The way
you
he
always want to look at their cash and see how well their performance is.
and Death Thrower disconnects. Luckily, after the game ends.
Luckily, he's lucky.
He's been.
He's lucky.
I think he's had that problem a bunch today, so it's good to see him pull it out before.
If Bees made it alive for just probably 20 more seconds, he would have won. Definitely would have upset a Death Row right there.
Well, and